Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to another What I Eat in a Day video. Hopefully you can hear me out here. I feel like it is noisier than usual this morning, but one thing that holds constant through just about every day is I start off my day with a big glass of water and a few minutes outside, usually watering my plants. I know that's not food related, but it is so important to start your day out with some morning sunlight when it comes to your circadian rhythm, your body clock, which is super underrated. I think people don't recognize the significance that has on our overall health, our metabolism, and especially our hormonal cycling, because essentially your circadian rhythm is telling your body when to produce certain hormones. It is signaling the production of those hormones. And so it's really important, I think, to get outside as soon as you can when you wake up, ideally kind of close to sunrise. You only need like 3 to 5 minutes, bare eyeballs, like no contacts, no glasses, no window in between. You don't have to look directly at the sun. It doesn't even have to be sunny out, but just get outside, get a few minutes of sunshine. So anyways, enough about that. I am, as I already said, bringing you along for a little What I Eat in a Day video, kind of focusing on what I do to support a healthy gut, support my hormones, and a strong, resilient body as a whole. Every day does look a little bit different, but there are so many things that just hold constant. I really focus on eating high quality, nutrient dense foods, keeping my blood sugar nice and balanced, and of course, supporting a healthy gut, all of that. Let's see. Today we are heading to the gym a little bit earlier than usual. A lot earlier. Usually we go to the gym in the afternoon and we'll either have like a run or a walk in the morning, but we're not running today and have some stuff going on this evening. So we're going to go to the gym this morning. And that means like my morning lineup is maybe just a little bit different than usual, but it's really just shifted from, I guess, where it would normally be later in the day. For reference, if you guys are new here, just FYI, I am a nutritional therapy practitioner. I specialize in women's metabolic and hormone health. And my goal with videos like this is just to provide inspiration and ideas of what eating in a way that supports your body on a metabolic level can look like, but in a practical way, if that makes sense. It's still early. I literally just got out of bed, so I don't feel like I'm quite fully coherent yet, but let's go and make breakfast. If you've been around, you've probably seen this meal like 1,000 times. It is tried and true. I have 3 pieces of Columbus uncured turkey bacon here, super nice clean ingredients, which I appreciate, and then 3 whole eggs here. So all together, this is like 36 grams of protein, and I'm going to show you a trick. So I have some coastal cheddar that I'm going to put on my eggs. I'll probably bump the protein up even more. By the time all is said and done, we're probably just over 40 when we combine this with my coffee, which will have milk in it. But you just put some cheese on top of the eggs, and it doesn't get quite melty enough, just like this I found. So flip your eggs back over, and you're gonna make a mess. That's just how it goes. Put your cheese directly on the cast iron and let it melt for just a minute before scraping it off. It is the best texture. It's so good. Big old breakfast this morning. As I already showed you, I have 3 eggs, I have 3 turkey bacon, and now I have a banana as well for my carbohydrate source, nice and high in potassium. It is so important to eat whole food sources of potassium all throughout the day, but the good news is that potassium is in so many different foods, so it's not really that hard. You just have to be mindful of it. As I already said, I think this is probably roughly 40 grams protein, maybe a little bit over, because there's about 1 ounce of cheese on the eggs, and I would say this breakfast comes out to like 550 calories, so it's definitely a pretty big breakfast. but I really like to focus on filling up in the mornings, having plenty of protein, getting plenty of healthy fats in here. Of course, we have nice saturated fats in the eggs and from the cheese. In most people, like, there's not a relationship there. That's just, it's fake, it's been debunked. In fact, eating adequate dietary cholesterol is actually essential for your body to maintain healthy blood cholesterol levels, and it's essential for your production of your sex hormones, of so many different hormones in your body. Adequate fat is also linked to gut health. So big thing that I see in many of my clients is they're not eating enough fat and their gut health is suffering as a result. Whether it's that they don't have enough fat to really absorb the fat soluble vitamins, or they just don't have enough of those essential fatty acids to produce stomach acid, to produce different enzymes that you need for digestion. It really can be detrimental on your immune health, on your gut health, on your skin, I don't know, so many different things. I do know so many different things, but I'm gonna stop listing them now. I'm gonna eat my breakfast and I'm going to make a coffee and go to the gym. Okay, let's see if I can do this without spilling one of my drinks. I just did spill coffee all over my lap. We are now on the way to the gym. I have my coffee. I always wait to have my coffee until after breakfast, and you should too, because coffee is a metabolic stimulant. It can actually have a beneficial effect when it comes to not just your metabolism as a whole, but more specifically your thyroid. However, it has to be within the proper context, and your body has to be able to handle it. And that means that if you are super stressed out already, it might not be the best move. Or if you are having it on an empty stomach, it essentially is accelerating your metabolic processes. And if there's nothing in your stomach to fuel that, it can cause low blood sugar, which causes a release of stress hormones and therefore burdens your adrenals, which therefore burdens your thyroid. So drink your coffee after breakfast, folks. And then over here, this is the tricky part. Okay, over here in this shaker bottle, I've got 4 ounces of orange juice. I've got about 4 ounces of water. And then with that, I have some Celtic sea salt. I just did spill coffee all over my lap, which is why I gasped. But I have some Celtic sea salt and some potassium chloride, and my husband is losing his mind in the seat next to me. Good job, Sally. As you guys can see, I am back from the gym and cleaned up for my post-workout meal. I am going to do a little smoothie, and then I'm gonna get some other stuff done and prepped in the kitchen while I drink this. But I have so far about 3/4 of a cup of Greek yogurt in here, about a cup of raw milk, which is a completely different story from conventional dairy. It is packed full of vitamins, of just nutrients as a whole. It has enzymes in it, which are phenomenal for your gut health. And whereas essentially conventional dairy can make people inflamed, raw milk can actually really help with inflammation. It's one of the most nutrient-dense foods out there, of course, when it's well-sourced from grass-fed cattle, pasture-raised cattle. You guys know the drill. That's in there. I have about a tablespoon of raw honey. I have like 3/4 of a cup of frozen blueberries. And then my last 2 ingredients that I'm going to add are some of this colostrum. This video isn't sponsored by Armra Colostrum, but I worked with them in the past, and I think my discount code is still active. So if so, I will link that below. But I do just a few scoops of this. It's really good for your gut. That's like I would say like a 3rd order kind of inclusion. Like, it's not foundational. Don't start with this and expect your gut to be better, but it can be really helpful from a nutrient perspective, and it has made such a big difference in my skin, which is quite a reflection on gut health. So I do that, and then I'm going to add my creatine monohydrate. I add 1 scoop of this, which is 5 grams. I used to add this to my electrolyte drink, and I guess sometimes I still do, when I was drinking at the gym and showed you on the way to the gym, but it bothers me because it doesn't like dissolve perfectly. It bothers me in that drink. I can tell that it's there, but when I blend it in a smoothie, I can't notice it at all. So again, I'll just throw that in here. But creatine is phenomenal when it comes to intramuscular hydration, and it can help improve your strength, it can help improve your endurance, your recovery, and it's also really, really good for cognitive health and memory in particular. There have been studies done, I believe, with elderly populations, and it has shown that including creatine, 5 grams creatine monohydrate in their diets has drastically improved their cognition. So something that just about everyone could benefit from. It is found in meat, but I think it's like you'd have to eat 2 pounds of red meat, grass-fed red meat, I think, per day in order to get the ideal amount. So it doesn't hurt to throw a little extra in there. So I'm gonna blend this up. Before I left for the gym, you guys saw me working on some sourdough pretzel rolls, which I don't even think I mentioned, but those are a new recipe I'm trying out. I saw Sarah Therese make sourdough pretzel buns and she said they were phenomenal. So I wanted to do it too. One thing I'm gonna do now is get those boiled and then scored and then into the oven. This recipe is from Farmhouse on Boone. It's kind of my go-to when it comes to a lot of sourdough recipes because she knows what she's talking about and they tend to turn out quite well. So I'll link that recipe below. And then what I'm gonna do before even that is put a roast into the crock pot. I have some sauce left over from the last time I made beef birria, and I'm gonna throw that in there with the roast to kind of get an extra use out of it. I just kept it in the freezer and that should be ready around dinner time. These are still super hot, but I want to do a taste test and then have some lunch. It looks pretty good. I feel like it could have risen maybe just a bit more, but it smells like a pretzel. Ooh. Okay, that's good. It really tastes like a pretzel. In addition to my pretzel roll for lunch, I have here, I guess kind of like a taco bowl, kind of a wacky taco bowl, but these are leftovers from dinner last night. I always make enough food at dinner time to get us into the next day. So we have leftovers for lunch. I have a bit of rice down here, and then I've got some soaked cooked black beans. We've got lettuce. I have ground beef mixed with beef liver. This is grass-fed 93.7 ground beef, so it has pretty high percentage of protein for ground beef. You get a little more bang for your buck in that sense. And I cook 2 pounds of it with about 8 ounces of beef liver. And I've found that like the easiest way to cover up the taste of the beef liver is to do like a taco style seasoning. So I have lots of chili powder, smoked paprika, cumin, and garlic in with the beef and liver. Beef liver is nature's multivitamin, and I know that in the US it's not something we are used to eating. It can be very off-putting. It is something that I have certainly not gotten to the point myself where I'm able to just cook lightly in a pan, or I've tried it so many different ways to just cook it, whether it's in a curry, whether it's seared, whether it's, I don't know, people have given me so many ideas and I have not found a way to eat it straight up and enjoy it. I either have to eat it raw and like swallow it as fast as I can, or grind it up and cook it into ground beef or chili or something like that. It's a textural thing, to be quite honest, more than it is a flavor thing, but some people come to really like it, and I find that it actually kind of enhances a lot of ground beef dishes because it adds like more of a depth of flavor. So I don't think I said this already. I do 2 pounds of ground beef to about 8 ounces of beef liver. If I said that twice, forgive me. And I will grind up my beef liver. I'll just get it whenever I can at the store. You always want to use pasture raised, grass-fed, spray-free liver. I will grind it up, divide it into like 8-ounce portions, and put it in the freezer. And I'm not the best at it, but my goal is to incorporate that into a meal at least once a week. And then I have sauerkraut here. This is homemade sauerkraut. I am a firm believer that sauerkraut is better than any probiotic that you can get at the store, because not only does it have just overall a lot of volume in terms of the probiotic bacteria, but it has many, many different strains of probiotic bacteria, which is so important, because if you have a probiotic that has a high concentration but not a lot of different strains, you can end up overfeeding colonies of certain specific bacteria, and it can lead to issues. So if you're looking for a good probiotic, I recommend getting some raw sauerkraut, doing a spoonful of it every day, but do bear in mind probiotic rich foods are not the best for everyone, and if your gut is kind of in a fragile state, I would be careful about incorporating really probiotic heavy, like fermented foods. Also, if you have a histamine issue, usually there's some underlying work that needs to be done before you're able to tolerate these foods. They could even be detrimental. So just bear that in mind. If they make you feel like crap when you eat them, there's a good chance there's something deeper going on. And then lastly, just some fresh cucumbers. I love cucumbers, especially in the summertime. They're just so refreshing. So I will enjoy my lunch, and I suppose check in with you when I eat next. Homemade masa tortilla. Masa is corn that has been treated with lime, so it is more digestible, because corn just on its own really is not a very digestible food. So a little gut health hack for you there. We got some melty cheese. Oh my gosh. We got our birria. I have some cilantro in here. Lime. Oh my gosh. Holy freaking heck. You ever make a food and eat it and you're just like almost in disbelief of the fact that it is as good as it is? That is how I feel about this. And honestly, the birria is like 95% as good as it was the first time. Like having reused the sauce. I think had I like salted the meat 24 hours ahead of time like I should have, we'd be like 99% of the way there. This is so good. Okay, I'm gonna enjoy this in peace. My husband is gone right now, but when he gets back, I'm gonna sit down, enjoy at least one more with him. And that's gonna be it for today. So thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you liked what you saw. It would mean a lot if you'd subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. But until next time, bye y'all.